Hey guys, it's me, Victoria. And tonight I was just thinking about past mistakes I've made in my life, doing a bit of introspection, as is my habit. And what got me thinking about this was this guy online in this introvert Facebook group I joined was saying like, "Oh, I only this my girlfriend can make me happy. She's the only woman in the world who can truly make me happy, and like she's gone forever and therefore I'm depressed." And I was just thinking, oh God, I made the exact same mistake with my first relationship, and how I just thought when he left me, my life was literally over. Like, I remember having this image of an apocalyptic situation where Earth was like a nuclear barren wasteland and there was literally nothing left for me. And it was extremely scary to feel so hopeless and lost. I've never been so lost in my life. I mean, I felt like I was in the midst of a drug addiction. And the fact is, I was. I had, a love addiction because I didn't realize that being happy is something you have to do independent of your relationship. Like, even if you have a person in your life who makes you so happy, you always have to remember deep down that you have to know what makes you happy and be able to create happiness for yourself completely on your own. And the moment you forget how to make yourself happy and you just feel like you just don't know anymore, like what you love, like you're in trouble and you better start working on it, like really hard. You better start thinking, finding your hobbies. You better start working on finding friends. You better start thinking, like, what are my passions in life and what do I need to do to have fulfilling work? Like, you really have to think hard about that, or you or myself are just going to get sucked down into this horrible black hole of depression. Anytime you think that, your boyfriend or your girlfriend or this person you're in love with is like the key, and it's like your soul, you're clinging on to life just through your love for that person, you are in big trouble, alright? You are cruising for a fall, so don't do it. I learned that the hard way. And actually, that horrible depression that I got after my love addiction crashed and burned was the first thing that led me to read self-help books, which I don't even like to call self-help books. I like to call just, wisdom, all right? Wisdom in a trashy book, all right? Like with a easily marketable title and stuff, but it's wisdom. It's life wisdom, how to live life. And I started reading a lot of those books and I learned kind of a lot of these true principles about life and how to remake my life from ground zero. How inspiring. So anyway, what I really want to make a video about was actually, I was thinking back to my childhood. I'm like, now what mistakes did I make in my childhood? And of course, it's kind of silly to hold a child to like the standard of a mature adult. At the same time, I was thinking, I truly did make some bad mistakes, and when I think back now, if I could like go back in time in some sort of time machine, I would love to see myself as a child respond in kind of like a healthy, mature way to these situations that I was just so. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't know, alright? I was stupid. I was innocent. I was naive. But, I feel like it caused a lot of problems for me, okay? And I'm not gonna blame my parents. Like, I never have liked this idea. Of course, because my parents, they were pretty good for the most part. I mean, very, very good. And I know some people have like truly abusive and malicious parents. Some parents literally want to kill their children. Like in the book A Child is Called It, about child abuse. So my parents were not like that at all. At the same time, I did feel like deeply hurt by some things they did. And and I'm not going to blame them for that, all right? If anything, I take responsibility. I'm not saying, you know, a 6-year-old kid should have known what to do, but looking back, I made some mistakes out of ignorance, and now I know. Well, now I would like to think I would know how to react better. So anyway, let's get into that. So one of the first mistakes I believe I made as a child is like not giving like my dad, or I always like really wanted his love, and he's just this kind of eccentric, somewhat shy person who's not really good with like expressing his emotions. And I just really like craved that from him. And now when I look back, I just realized that I had to be the bigger person in a way, and I should have given to him. Like, for example, he was trying to relate to me in the way that he knew how. Like, he wanted to teach us all the stuff, like tennis and chess and math. And I interpreted that as just like this. I interpreted that as he wanted me to be somebody I was not. But I needed to be the bigger person, and I needed to generously give to him and take an interest in his interests. You know what I mean? Like, you can't wait for people to come to you in life. You have to see it from their perspective, generously go towards them instead of waiting for them to come towards you. And I think if I had taken that view with my dad, I could have said, I want a relationship with him. I need to make him happy rather than expecting, oh, he's my dad, he should make me happy. Well, you know what? He didn't know how, so it's up to me. Number 2 is not being more affectionate and loving to my parents. Like, I always remember this thing in my childhood where my dad was just like, oh, you don't like want to basically be like affectionate with me anymore, and I kind of turned him down. And I always felt really, really bad about that because I was just basically nervous to express my love for him. And I wish I had just been more loving to my parents and not been so stiff around them. And I wish as a child I had tried to be more affectionate and caring and loving to them verbally. And physically, like giving them hugs and stuff. Another thing is not researching vegetarianism enough and going vegan. I was vegetarian from a very young age, but I just feel so stupid I didn't, do some reading, read some books about it, because if I had, I would have gone vegan much sooner, and vegetarianism was stupid. Veganism is where it's at. So number 4 is huge. Just not being more transparent and vulnerable with my parents, even though it was very hard. I think I repressed so much. I'm just realizing now, and I still do it. And I feel like a big part of my journey is trying to open up and be more transparent with people and share these things that I'm embarrassed and I have shame about. And if I had been able to tell them what was on my mind, so many problems would have been alleviated. I mean, I did try to do some of it, but, there was so much more I could have humbly and vulnerably tried to express to them. Whether they liked it or not, it would have just made me feel better. And finally, the fifth mistake I made is internalizing fat shame about my body instead of finding positive messages about feminism and body positivity. I internalized so much shame. And now I realize, it's due to ignorance. And if I had been able to educate myself, I could have protected myself against all the harm that internalized shame did to me. So, yeah, those are 5 mistakes I made as a young child. Alright? Yeah, so what were some mistakes you made as a young child? And do you think this is crazy to hold a child accountable, or do you think it's crazy to blame your parents? What do you think?